Hey guys, welcome back to another Buddyfight video. Here, I'm talking about the Sword Art Online card, which is basically the set or crossover set that made Buddyfight Weiss Shwarz. Weiss Shwarz still going, Vanguard still going. F in the chat for Dragoborn and Luck and Logic. Those unfortunately are not around anymore. And also, Bushiroad's online shop isn't doing too well. But anyways, before I talk about some of the random cards from the set and things that SEO has to offer, I know there are other previous sets that I have not talked about because I wasn't uploading much on YouTube during the time. So SS Gridman and Gigi no Titaro, those were the other two waves, other two sets in this wave. And what I want to talk about is the release date. So obviously, you see right here on Buddy Spoiler, 21st of Japan this year for Sword Art Online. And we just got news for this, which is SS Gridman, which is the crossover set preceding it. And its release date is March 27th. So if I was to guess, SAO would probably come 1 or 2 months after, so sometime in spring. But I also want to mention that spring, usually April 1st, is when they air new episodes of anime. So if we are going to get announcements for a new anime or new wave of either crossover sets or wave 3 of Ace, with more support for time dragons or introducing new villains or protagonists, or new decks, all that stuff. So we're probably going to get that either beginning of spring, end of winter. And because this is in March, again, I said it'd probably be later. But we also have a release date for the Ultimate set, which is going to wrap up at the end of winter, which is February 28th, as you see right there. So this is for the English, just keep in mind. But besides that, the only thing we have announced is Metabots, which is the crossover set after Sword Art Online. So love to hear your thoughts on that, if you know what that is or are hyped for it. I unfortunately don't. But anyways, here we're talking about the flag, so nothing special, nothing crazy like Chaos Territory for Sword Art Online. Your 6 hand cards, 2 gauge, your usual stuff. And, sorry, why did I say Sword Art Online? I meant to say Bang Dream, my bad. Chaos Territory and left and right, that's Bang Dream. And you can see there's a lot of fan service cards, a lot of them. And some of them are really whack. And there's so many alternate arts and stuff. It's just really, really confusing to me. There's so many, like, they're signed arts, they're SP arts. I think there's also Buddy Rares. Actually, wait, no, are there Buddy Rares? Premium Arts, SP, and SRs. So those 3 rarities. That's the cool stuff. Anyways, let's talk about the meme impact. First off, we got good old Starburst stream. So Kirito special in the anime. He finally got his impact, and oh my gosh, the artwork is just glorious. Anyways, you only cast this card if your cards have attacked 3 times or more this turn. If you have a Kirito on your field, cost pays 16 gauge. The gauge cost is reduced by the number of times your cards have attacked during this turn, and deal 1 damage to your opponent 16 times. This card cannot be nullified, and its damage cannot be reduced. So you're basically guaranteed the kill with this, but 16 gauge is a lot, and while SAO does have decent resource, it's still, obviously you want to attack as much as you can. It's like Thunder X Tempest Buster, except you're just attacking as much as you can, and 16 gauge for 16 damage. Can't be reduced, can't be nullified, is really nice. And the alternative is Asuna's Impact, which is somewhere, and that's, wait, did it not load in? Hello? Oh, sorry, my Wi-Fi is just trolling. And of course, there's also Star Splash. I don't know what the actual name of it is called, but I'm assuming that's what it is. Anyways, you only cast this card if your opponent's life is 8 life or less. Your cards have attacked 2 times or more during the turn, and if Asuna is on your field. 2 gauge, deal 1 damage to your opponent 8 times. Can be reduced, can be nullified. Usually the reduced part is the bigger part. For example, looking at like Zero Blazer, because being able to reduce that huge amount of damage to just 0 is nice. And also dealing in separate times, meaning that if you're trying to reduce it just once, so like, for example, a card that's the next time you would take damage, it is reduced to 0, then this card would still get around that and deal a good amount of damage. So this is probably the better alternative, especially because there are a lot of really good Asuna cards for Knights of the Blood Oath. So the main stuff for Sword Art Online is Knights of the Blood Oath. What's his name? Klein's thing, I think is his name. Did I get it wrong? Furin Kazan. I probably said that wrong, but whatever. And you also have Knights of the Blood Oath, as I said, and I think just Avatar clusters. Oh, yeah. Avatar is the attributes for all the characters, but Moonlit and Black Hat, so that is a thing as well. Honestly, there are a lot of cards to go through, but I'm just going to talk about specific ones. So first off, we have this. So in case you didn't see this on Card of the Day, this was revealed, as you can see from the sample on the Japanese Buddyfight website. And this card is pretty crazy. So, the End of the World, Sword Art Online, is a spell. It's defense attribute. Imagine if Prisms could search this thing, except, you can't use that. But anyways, you only cast this card if there are 14 or more cards in your drop zone. Nullify all abilities of cards in your opponent's field. So, bam, just like Vanity's effect. Drop all their souls, just like Vanity. Put them into the drop zone, just like Vanity. Then shuffle all cards in each fighter's drop zone into their deck, and each fighter's life becomes 10. If this thing was a counter, then my gosh. But I mean, the actual cost condition is free. It really isn't that hard to use, getting 14 more cards in your drop zone. Not too sure if you could do it turn 1 because I haven't actually play tested this deck yet. if I'm being perfectly honest, on Buddyfight area. But this card, oh, just slap Vanity's effect onto a spell. Granted, spell nulls are still a thing, not as strong as they were before. Like, obviously, you got Shining Rain, so this can be nullified by that because it's during your opponent's turn. You also have, what is it? The Katana Spell card. I can't remember the name right now. Hero World, you know, certain niche spell nulls which are still out there, just not as common. And of course, like Dimension Denial, but you have to be lost into that. Which, if you're going second, they maybe could, but usually, of course, Lost World is at end of turn, so usually they'd have to go second for this, and you know, you can't cast this out of your turn if you're playing SAO because it's not counter. But anyways, it's just a really strong card, and I find it hilarious that Vanity has its own effect in another world sort of online. But I guess they just wanted to make it as devastating as possible. And also, resetting deck and drop, not exactly a trend I like, but if they're trying to give it to everything, I can kind of understand it. It just makes stall games really annoying, and especially at, let's say, like competitive buddy fight, if you're playing at a regionals, that is really annoying because if you don't finish enough games within your rounds, you go into overtime, and whoever has more life basically wins. And whichever deck just gains more life, or maybe you just didn't have a great hand to gain enough life, then you're out. You get either a double loss if both of you don't finish it, or it's usually just a turn. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about regional rules for buddy fight, but anyways, done with that. Here's another meme card. We got Giant Floating Castle, AINCRAD. So this card is just hilarious to me. It does have Soul Guard, and the cast cost is put the top 10 cards of your deck into its soul set. When a card on your field is destroyed by your opponent's character, you may drop a soul from this card. So if this card has no soul, put this card from your field and drop zone, and you win the fight. So basically, a card on your field has to be destroyed by your opponent's character. You drop a soul, they destroy it 10 times, you win the fight. Unfortunately, there aren't really any SAO cards that stack a ton of soul. I think Grail might be able to. There might be some cards, but other than that, there isn't really anything that works too out this. I just find it funny that it has Soul Guard, and that you can just instantly win the fight from this thing. And also, Kayaba, wherever he is, here he is, can actually search it. And also, he has a good effect with Heathcliff, and speaking of Heathcliff, he's also one of the really good cards in the set. So, actually, before I get to Heathcliff, I should show the VR gear, which is the main niche of this. Where is the VR gear? It is... There it is. So, nerf gear right here. So, it's very similar to how Electro Deities work. So, you're basically putting a character or avatar in this state on top of your item. So, quick cost, pay 1 gauge, act, link start. Put up to 1 avatar from your hand on top of this card. This card put on top is treated as an item until it leaves the field. This card in the field and items with this card in soul cannot be destroyed, returned to hand, and rules cannot be nullified, just like Kagura Bell for Electro Deities. And this card in soul of item, it cannot be dropped by card effects. So, it's basically copy-paste from Kagura with slightly different stuff. Obviously, it's an act, so it stays on top of it, and obviously, unlike Bell, it's not going back and forth, so it's kind of stuck there, but it's still really good because you get free protection for your item, and that is really good with Heathcliff right here. Where is he? There he is. No, that's Clyde. Wrong character. Okay, so Akiyo Kai buffer cost from field into from your field into soul. I believe that should say into, sorry, and top deck into soul. Pay 2 gauge. If you have 5 life or less, you cannot take damage by card effects, and this card gets plus 10,000 power, plus 10,000 defense, critical plus 2, counteract. Its cards being attacked, you can pay 2 gauge, you do nullify attack, double attack, soul guard, counterattack, and stats are 7, 3, 8. So with another card, you can actually get buffs to this, which is the other Knights of the Oath card. Where is he? If I can find, here it is. Was it Frodrin? Yeah, I think Frodrin's one of it. So plus 10,000 power, critical plus 2. So you basically go 517k, which is pretty nice, double attack. And of course you get extra buffs. I think not being able to take damage is really good. And also a lot of the Knights of the Blood are really aggressive as well. Moonlight Cats are also kind of nice, but they require cards and drop and setup. I honestly can't say which one's better, but I would say just test it for yourself on BFA and see how that goes. So another really great card, which is basically something you want in every single SAO deck, is Welcome to My World. So very simple. 1 gauge, call up to 1 avatar character from your hand or drop by paying its call cost. Very simple, it gets the effect done. So either recycle something from your drop or call from hand, so you can get more attacks. Let's say if you're going for an aggro push deck with what's its name, for Starburst Stream or whatever. Oh my, there's so many cards to go through. Let's see. Where was the stoppers? Here it is. Duel. Nope, this is the meme card. Anyways, this card's really funny. So you only cast this card in each player's attack phase. So you have to play rock paper scissors. with your opponent only once, so no redos. So it's not like the gingerbread card where you just redo over and over until you find a winner. The fighter who wins draws 2 cards and deal 3 damage to the fighter who does not win. So maybe if you're really good at rock, paper, scissors, this is the card for you. I just find it hilarious that they decided to put that in. And there's also hate towards beta testers Kyobu. So Y, starting to feud, you can say Y. If you say it, you gain 2 life, or not, you can take 2 damage to gain into range of, I don't know, Heathcliff or whatever. So kind of cool just to see meme cards in SAO. Other thing we gotta talk about is Klein. So Klein is pretty nice because he gets free debuffs, or sorry, not debuffs. That's another Furrin Cousin card that does that. But he gets free bounce or return, and at the same time has his effect during each player's attack phase. If your machine is in this card's soul, which it basically is going to be every time unless you call him for some reason, you can search your deck for up to 1 Cousin card, and that gives you more offensive or defensive power, which is these guys if I can find them. This guy. So of course it's not loading it. So Ultra and Janwoo, there was actually an errata with this, but they fixed it. So all for the actual card, not on Buddy spoiler. Anyway, all Furrin Cousin your field cannot be destroyed or returned to him by your opponent's card effects. Klein is on your field, you get +5/+1 to everything, or all Furrin Cousin. When this card attacks with 3 or different, for this turn, all Furrin Cousin, you get penetrate and double attack. So nice aggro push, and you also, of course, it's also stackable because it's auto ability right here. And of course, you also have Kurut Aknataros. So abilities of all Furrin Cousin cannot be nullified by opponent's card effects. You get debuff on everything. And this card is field by card effects. If Klein is on your field, choose 1 card in opponent's field for this turn. Next turn cannot stand. So that's kind of nice. It's not like Voltaic for Legend Dragons where it stops restand for everything. You have to select specific cards. So that's kind of weakness there, but it's still nice to be able just to call that straight from your deck. What else is there? Let's see. A lot of the waifu cards, you have Yui right here. So Yui's really great because I'm seeing a lot of trends of this. Like first off, we added in Bang Dream with Personnel. I forgot the name of the card. But basically the scout manager who you drop from hand, so it's a monster act, and you are able to resource take. Now this isn't a new thing, we had it before in Dragon Knights. I'm just seeing more of a trend of it. And Yui also has a really nice effect. So it's check top 6, 2 different avatar characters, which is really nice. And of course as the counter act from drop, you just 1 gauge, put it back in the deck, shove it in, and nullify, gain 2 life. So Yui's pretty good, basically a staple for everything, obviously. What else do you have here? You have best moment, so check top 3. Your usual, like basically every deck has this card at this point. Checked up 3, gauge, gain life, 1 into hand, other into gauge. Let's see, what else is there? You also have, I'm trying to think. Oh, switch is really important as well. So you only cast this card during each player's attack phase. So obviously it's bounce, call it something else, so you get more attacks, or obviously to trigger cards like, you know, the Furrin Cousin card we just looked at, to call by card effects, get more debuffs. And yeah, also gets free 5,000 power, 5,000 defense. So kind of similar to the DD Dragon Tribe card, the multi-world one that you can use in all flags for multi-world Garga. It's kind of similar to that. Let's see, what else do we have here that's interesting? There's like a Silica beam thing. I don't know if people actually use this, but that's a thing. Let me see. There's Waifu Asuna here, which is basically Buddy Block 2.0, 3.0. For all I know, every single just crossover just has Buddy Block for obvious reasons, because you need it or you die to aggro decks. So yeah, that's a thing. What else is there? You have Charming Invitation, so check top 4. Different cards into hand, rest into gauge, very similar to Bang Dreams. Kirito, can't forget about Kirito. So he's basically a pop search, and he also has the ability to, when you destroy something, to restand. So basically killing walls, or let's say Vanity End Destroyer. I don't know what else is really going to be having. I guess prisms, but prisms were just counter call anyway, so you won't be able to get the hit and destruction. But that's just the first thing that comes to my head when it comes to walls. And I think that's pretty much it, or else I'm going to be here all day. You have the main ones, so Moonlit, Black Cats, Kirito. You've got Asuna, Silica, and Liz, who all have their own thing. You also have this Liz, which is free gauge and draw, but you need in every deck, and also gets double attack and works with any avatar. So it can work with Moonlit, Black Cats. It can work with, it's basically your threat for the deck, basically, or your Garcat. And also gets the free penetrating double attack if you have another monster on field, because everything is an avatar. I honestly don't know what like. Okay, thing is, I remember these cards by their names or by their effects, not the artwork, and especially it's confusing when it's being swapped out. Anyways, this is basically Dragon Skylines 2.0, so slightly different. So if your item was sold, you can pay it without its cast cost, which is basically guaranteed every time. So draw 3 and drop 2, or you can say it's similar to Dimension Draw as well. Where's the rest of the resource cards? Let's see. Where was the one? Oh, here it is, Crystal Item. So 1 life, choose use one of the following 2. So you can either search an item straight from deck or 2 different characters from drops one into your hand. So obviously having that, not reliability, that's not the right word, but basically having versatility, that's the word, to have 2 different effects to be able to obviously search any item, which is really good in case it gets dropped or removed somehow, if that does somehow happen. Or either just getting cards back to your hand for example, Elizabeth getting the free draws, or grabbing your Fruiting Cousin cards back. Let's see, what else is there? Is this, oh, here it is. Time stopped. God mode in SAO. You only cast this card during attacking your opponent's turn. Counter nullify the attack. Then if your item has souls, deal 2 damage to your opponent. Choose a card in your opponent's field, and for this turn, that card cannot stand. So, really nice effect. I hate making comparison to cards, but it's very similar to Electro Deities, not stand cards. And obviously, it's kind of hard not to make comparisons to Electro Deity because they're possess or whatever ability where you just slap a monster on top of an item and it's treated as an item, but it's still a monster. The way I'm explaining it is confusing, but obviously it's very similar to Electro Deity. And of course, basically every single archetype in Sword Art Online has their own sit, which is basically either patches up one of the abilities for protection, which isn't given by their monsters, or it either just gives you free life and draw or gauge. So that's really nice. So there's one for obviously the main ones, Fruiting Cousin, Moonlit Black Gods, and Knights of the Blood Oath, or whatever the heck they're called. So I believe that is about everything. Oh, there's this edgy card. Just so we're clear, I play solo. Classic SAO. Anyways, this card, you only cast this card during your turn if there are no characters on your field. Counter, choose an item on your field, and for this turn, its power becomes infinite. Yes, infinite. So much for, was it Sunfist, Shining, I forgot the full name. You know what card I'm talking about anyways. Then for this turn, its critical cannot be reduced by opponent's card effects, and its attack cannot be nullified as attacking alone. So, going full on meme if you just want to go in hard with your item. And I believe that is basically it. This is also pretty nice. So, put an AI from drops into your hand so you can reuse Yui's effect. And counter choose an avatar in your field. For this turn, the card will leave the field by your opponent's card effect. It remains in the field. So, because it's leave the field, and not by card effects, this actually does work against Vanity and Godpunk, which is really nice. So you can basically still play the game. And yeah, besides more special arts, what card is this? Oh, this is the other. So this can search any set spell, which is obviously really nice for consistency, or put it to 1 special and drops it into hand, so grabbing back an impact for some reason, because you're definitely not playing 4 impact, but the impacts, you know, Kirito and Asuna special, 8-16 damage, pretty annoying. But yeah. That's pretty much it. A lot of waifu cards, a lot of fan service. There's nothing for season 2 of SAO for Lifa, I think is the name of the character, and nothing for Alicization, which is already actually being made a set in Weiss Shwarz. So yeah, unfortunately that's all there is. We got TCG player right there on a buddy spoiler, but that's pretty much it. Nothing else really special. You can obviously take a look at these cards yourself. I already know I've been talking so much. This video is probably like 15 plus minutes long. But thank you guys so much for watching. Tell me what you think of SAO. Are you guys going to be buying this set? I'm honestly thinking about it, but I want to see what else gets announced, because these crossover sets take a while to come over to English, and by the time that happens, there's usually something else going on for the main set. And of course, we also have Time Dragons coming out very soon in January, so I want to stay tuned for that. I don't know if I'll be building any decks, but if so, I'll probably do like a BFA video or something else instead of buying actual cards, which I know is really cheap of me, but it's still cheaper to do, and I still do buy Buddyfight cards when I can. So, and of course from shops, not online or from Second Solus. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day. Tell me what you think of this SAO set. Are you gonna buy it? Are you gonna encourage other people to get it? And honestly, what you think about crossover sets in general, because I feel like crossover sets are really divide the community. Some people say it helps, some people say it's just annoying to get them, and obviously they're good because they want people to buy it and because they want to get people who have overlapping interests into the game. But anyways, I'm talking way too much. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.